trust me, I'm so different. The light that shines so bright. Can't you tell your boy just glisten, man? Just listen, just listen. GP's a brand new Christian. We can chop about the gospel, how King Jesus is living. It's a blessing, a blessing. No weapon form, no weapon. I did circles all in your section. Don't want smoke, boy, you testing. It's a blessing, a blessing. Hold my coat, boy, I'm high stepping over valley and them snares. You don't want to take it there. Let go. The hurt, the pain, the bondage, the chains. Expose the snakes. Rebuke it, maintain. That's why I'm in the zone. Touchdown, we in the zone. You better watch your tone. Call out next, so boy, you don't. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. I'm not okay with it. No, I'm not okay at all. You forced this all to happen. The squad I had to call. It's best you go see refuge. Your counsel stop the fall. Misuse the things that bless you. It don't make no sense, oh no. Switch up, now the kids out ball. Click up, bring the truth to all. Get up from the mix up here, quick dust. You use this love for all. Read letters written by Paul. Study battles fought by Saul. You can play if you want to. What you gonna do? We here to break the walls. Rich wrapped up like some gauze. Beat the enemy till he crawls. Alright, we can keep it hype. We can go all night big like shopping malls. Stay clean, call the kids like Saul. Cause the heart been reinstalled. Hit the main line 3 times, so follow all the protocols. The hurt, the pain, the bondage, the chains. Expose the snakes. Rebuke it, maintain. That's why I'm in this zone. Touchdown, we in this zone. You better watch your tone. Call out next, so boy, get gone. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. We up, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up. It's on, we up.
Hey there. I know what you think. Who's this guy on my TV? Well, I'll tell you what. Shut up. Now, I could sit here and waste your precious airtime talking about insurance and all sorts of stuff with my little slick hair, my wingtip shoes, and I can impress you with my resume and my associate's degree vocabulary, but I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut right to the cheese. You understand?
I didn't fucking ask you shit! Man, I ain't gonna use stealing, motherfucker. Oh. Red. I apologize. You've never given me a reason to be suspicious of you. I like you. I'm sorry. But you. Okay, what's the mystery? Hey, I'm Mr. Richards. How are you?
It says here she wears a hearing aid. Yeah, it's broken.
But what do you mean broken?
It's broken, but we're repairing it. What's the talking to? Okay. Addy, who broke your hearing aid? Did you tell you that? Are you in danger, Steve? I'm here to help. You can talk to me.
I kept her away from you that last week because all she did was talk to you about that book. That's why I had everything sent away, Gabby. I didn't want her to hurt you.
For crying out loud, Vera.
I
You
know.
operated this business like how you operate your piggy bank. We'd be broke by now.
I'm sorry.
Broke. What you do, Vera, is very simple, because obviously you don't understand this. You call, you collect the money, and then we hang up. Call, collect. You got it?
Of course. I'm sorry.
This is fact.
She's back.
Ella, calm down. Stay safe. I will be on the next flight. This time, I am not shooting for picture.
You want to know why they call me Hunk? It's because I have a big dick.
Yo! Turn this camera on. Yo! Welcome to yet another episode of ADQ'S Renaissance. I'm your host with the most, keeping it 100 from coast to coast. Through God I boast. ADQ. Let me hit the full screen. I am tripping, y'all. I am tripping. Please bear with me. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. Boom, there we are. So, yo. Again, welcome to ADQ'S Renaissance. Y'all like my banner? Y'all like how I'm switching things up? It's a growth process. It's a growth process. First of all, congratulate your boy, because ADQ'S Renaissance has crossed the threshold. ADQ'S Renaissance has crossed the threshold. We are now at 1,009 plays. Thank you all for listening. Thank you very much. Shout out to my man, Mr. GP, for that incredible track, man. Re-up. That's what we doing in 2021. We re-upping after a very testy year, which was 2020. Also, those interesting lines, that incredible acting that you all just heard have been from my guests. But before we get into my guests, I have been slacking on this, and I need to get back into it. Starting every single episode in the word. Now, shout out to Justin Ross Hiller. He was my last guest on Friday. We chopped it up, got some good game in. We were talking about Romans chapter 8. So I'm going to talk. So we're going. Let's see. Let's talk about Romans chapter 8, verse 23 through 25. And we believers also grown, even though we have the Holy Spirit within us as a foretaste of future glory, for we are long for our bodies to be released from sin and suffering. We too wait with eager hope for the day when God will give us our full rights as his adopted children, including the new bodies he has promised us. We were given this hope when we were saved. If we already have something, we don't need to hope for it. But if we look forward to something we don't have, we must wait patiently and confidently. Well, all of us artists, we wait patiently and confidently and push vigorously for our spot in the lights. So, also, real quick, birthday shout out. Happy birthday to my homegirl, Morgan Flower Child Jones. Happiest birthday to her. Yo, we did our episode of ADQ'S Renaissance way back in June, July, and she has been using little snippets of that episode to drive forward an inspirational point that she was making ever since. So shout out to her. Shout out to Morgan. Make sure my beard is right. Now, I'm not going to babble on too long, because by Babylon, they don't feel like Babylon. Get it? Get it? No? Maybe? Yeah? Okay. Let's get into my guest. My guest, I met this man 2 years ago when I was directing my play. I was directing the play that the great Louis Panzer wrote called Arabian Butchery. And I just happened to notice this guy at the audition taking pictures of everybody who was auditioning. And then turned around and saw the finished product of the play that he was taking pictures of, that he was getting ready for. I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? I got to know this guy over the past couple years. Really dope guy, really, really great guy. I feel like we connect theatrically, even though we have yet to work together, but I feel like that will change very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the ADQ'S Renaissance, Mr. Carl J. Grasso. Carl, what's up, man?
Hey, look, I was walking through the woods and I found this great spot. I didn't realize this was ADQ's Renaissance. You like my butterfly chair? I can't wait. This is great. How we doing?
Well, we do be into the woods, you know. Did I pursue her or show her disdain? How could she want for me?
Everybody
Into
take
the
it
woods.
easy.
Get it?
Everybody take it easy. Okay. I'm not
I'm
burning
sorry,
a penis. I'm not singing.
So that's probably where the butterfly chair came from, when they were going, agony! I need to sit down in this agony.
Well, I walk around with a butterfly chair. Gotta go, food shopping or something, just in case. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know when you need to go shopping and, the wife is just sitting there. She's taking forever to get something. And
All right, I get it. Okay, come on. We got to go. The game's on. Come on.
Oh, man, I highly doubt your wife cares about any game.
Yeah, true. She doesn't.
True. How you doing there, Carl?
I am doing wonderful, actually. And congrats on the 1,000 plays, 1,000 views. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very
That's
much.
great.
Hey, it's having incredible people like you, like Chris Veneris, like Ronald, like RL the Gifted One, Ron Lavender, Justin Ross Hillard, Morgan Flower Child Jones, all y'all great people on my podcast. That's what puts me at the 1,000 views, and that's what's going to make my ascension to 2,000 views, very, very, very instantaneously.
Well, hopefully the viewership is not going down because I'm on it. So hopefully.
If anything, it'll go up because you're on it.
Yeah, it'll be the biggest show ever. So I can now I'm nervous. Okay, now what do I gotta do? Okay, let's see. I don't know.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna tell me.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me what in the world. I hear from New Yorkers different reasons of why they are down here. Okay. I'm like,
Okay.
What in the world took you from the city that never sleeps to the city that can't wait to get to sleep?
Okay. Well, it's also the city that never sleeps because everybody's working 24/7 to pay for their either little apartments or their ridiculous amount of mortgage that they have up there.
Right.
It's for me. It's gentrified. It's too expensive. I transferred with my day job down here, and I bought a beautiful house, and my family is having a wonderful life down here. My daughter made so many friends, my wife, same thing, and we're living a life that we could not have lived up where I was living. And I just couldn't take it anymore. Like I was barely living any type of life. I mean, art-wise, yeah. I mean, I could go right on a train to Manhattan and be in there in 90 minutes and go for auditions or try to shoot a commercial, music video. And that's the central and the mecca, as you would say, for everything theater. But in reality, it's like, do I want to go broke just trying to do something, or do I really want to do something? And I love the South, and I love multiple towns in actually South Carolina. And I researched Greensboro and Raleigh and Charlotte. And I'm like, why don't we try North Carolina? And we've been here since 2016. And there is no way I'm moving back up there. Unless, Kelly Ripa needs a new host or something. Then, of course, I would go up there immediately. Because Ryan Seacrest is kind of, I think he smells like olives. But that's a personal taste.
Well, we're glad to have you because I know that when we first met and you were preparing for Let the Dead Bury the Dead, I've never seen your style of directing. Like it's a very intense style, and it's like, it's like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Substantive Sal. Like, let me make sure that I am getting all pieces of the puzzle correct, right?
Directors are, and writers and actors should be problem solvers. You have a problem set in front of you. Now, how am I going to fix it, solve it? How am I going to make this something coherent where the guy in the back row can get it and he's not just like, you know. So I have to be into everything, and I have to find the vision on what I want to do, and that means the right actors, the right cast. I just said that. The right set. Excuse me. The right music if I wanted to do a music cue, the right costume. Every little thing needs something as a catalyst to actually create forward momentum for the story. And if there's one thing out of place, you're going to lose it. So my joke is always, I'm here to wake people up. And
Right.
you're not going to snooze during one of my shows. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, you're going to be, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And that I've directed films. I've been in films, but as a director, I've directed more shows, as well as radio shows / podcasts. But I always keep that in mind. Like, how am I going to get the either viewer or listener to just to keep on the edge of their seat? So it can be as simple as a sound cue, simple as an actor direction, as simple as a set change or a lighting change. You have to be on the ball. And I am very collaborative. So I'll sit down and start doing crunches, or maybe I'll do push-ups, and I'll ask the actor, what would you like as the character in this scene? Do you want a spotlight? Or do you want to go over here? Or what would you do? And I take the suggestion, and I either, take it or maybe notate it or not take it. But I need that, I need that input. Because, the closest person to you, it might be a stage manager or an actor. I rather it be a mistake be made in rehearsal than rather on the set or something. You have to be open to things like that. You can't just be like, I hate, and I work with people like this, like, I am the director. How dare you speak to me? Don't look at me. I walk right out. I'm like, okay, all right, bye. Okay.
You walk out too. I walk out too, because any director who is worth their salt, they would know there is not a dichotomy. Like, it's not an idea like, I'm the director, you do whatever I tell you to do. If I tell you to bark like a dog while standing on your head, you better daggone bark like a dog while standing on your head. That's not the way it works. The way it works is, yes, the director has the final say, but like you just said, you say you're a collaborative person. It's a collaborative process. What's your vision for the character? What's your vision for the character? What's your vision for the character? How are we going to take the story along? What's the blueprint of the script? That's how it's done.
And you better have an answer for me when I ask you, because I don't know. Get out, just take your bags and leave. That's what I mean. Because I expect the same amount of passion for the story that I'm going to give this writer. And I mean, there's always been a writer that's come up to me and been like, well, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't look right. That's not my vision. And I respect that, because I'm a writer as well. So I'll sit down and be like, well, tell me what you want, and I'll tell you what I want, and maybe we can compromise. Most of the time, we get it. It's the guys who go behind my back sometimes and like, well, so-and-so said you were doing this. Well, come to me first before going to so-and-so first. I think I know how to deliver a show at this stage of the game.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. Like, if I'm going to do a comedy, I want to do a drama. If I want to do a horror, I'll do a musical, which I've never done that. But I mean, I need to challenge myself. So it's either like I'll do, Our Town to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It's something completely different. I probably wouldn't do either, but that's the way to keep it fresh.
Well, I can tell you from experience, musical theater is a challenge in itself.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's a beautiful challenge. You would love the challenge of musical theater.
I have no musical background, so I wouldn't even know. That sound I don't know. That sounds okay. I don't know.
I never heard you sing before, so
Yeah. I was tuning out.
So I tell you this. So I tell you this. When I saw Let the Dead Bury the Dead, if all of that you just said is the process that you use 100% religiously, then it works because when I saw Let the Dead Bury the Dead, that was some of the most intense acting I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, what ADQ is referring to it was a show about zombies. We were doing a Halloween show, and it was your typical situation like Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead, people running into a cabin, locking the door, the zombies coming, one of them's bit, are they bit, is it not bit? And like the script said, there was a plot twist in the script, and me and the actors talked about the plot twist, and I was like, well, I gotta definitely up the effects because I knew it had to be something huge. So there were gunshots. There was in the script it said, so and so gets blood. It gets killed, and there's blood everywhere. I'm like, it's that blood, so I had to figure out how to make a blood effect. So I'm, in my backyard in a girdle with a Ziploc bag with as much blood as I can. I'm like, I have my wife videoing me and stuff, rolling around with blood on the ground in my backyard. And I'm like, is this not blood? No, not anymore. So, and I tested it all. And I found the proper concoction to make that I can make as much blood as I want, throw it on whoever I wanted. And it was laundry detergent and baby safe, meaning like you wouldn't cry and I wouldn't blind you or anything, which was good. Everything like that is important because that's the show that I want people to see, and the acting, I mean, I got the best cast I wanted to. I ratcheted all three of them up. I basically sat down because they were very fine performers, and I could just sit there with the knobs and be like, well, I think you should do this and this and that. And after a while, I gave them the tools to use. And the show was, they were great. I thought it was fantastic, acting wise as well.
It was great. I very much. I hated what I saw. You want to know why I hated what I saw? Because my show was also on that field, and I'm like, dang it, man, this dude outdid me.
Well, I'm going to do that word. That's not a competitive thing with me. It's just I'm not. I'd rather, I'm not going to bore you. That's the thing. I'm not going, well, his show was bad, that kind of thing. Although I have seen bad shows in my life, and I go, and I sit there as an audience member like this. I would have done that over there, and I would have the character come this way, and then I would have had the lighting cue go like this. Instead, you'll have a director, upstage, and two actors like this profile talking to each other. That's not exciting. You gotta.
How many times
I'm sorry. You have to. You have to sit in the rows, the back row and the front row, while you're directing. You have to move. Anybody who's worked with me in the theater knows I do this, and I go into the crappiest seat, like by the bathroom or whatever, by the door, and I go, "Can I see it like this?" All the action. And I got to think of that guy because maybe he paid a lot of money to sit there, and he paid a babysitter. Say, I don't want to go see this. Like, what is this thing about? And then after the show, he'll come up to the writer or me and be like, man, I didn't want to come to the theater, but that was a great show. Thank you very much. I really had a good time. That's what you got to think about when you're directing. Really, not for the aestheticness of the artiste, which, okay, that's cool too. That is good. And I'm not saying we do this for commercial, gains. We do it for the art. But we do it because it's a performing art, and we have to have people to perform in front of an audience. And the audience are the people who come back to the shows. So you don't want to lose them in Act 1. That's how I think about it. So you had a great show too. I liked your show. Your show was very funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to my entire cast.
Shout out to them.
And, oh my God. I'm losing names. Chris, Scott, Tiffany, Thomas, and oh God,
Eric?
Tabitha.
Was it
That's
Eric?
my name is Tabitha. Anywho, hey, me and you, we actually share the actor.
Yeah, Michael. Michael Simmons.
Oh yeah. So I'm with you because there's been many times when I would go to a theater and watch a show or go to a movie theater to watch a film, and from the jump I'm like, okay, so this is probably going to take like a good hour and a half. So I just got through an hour and a half of this. Okay, so they're going to set up the story right here. Then they're going to move into the climax, and then they're going to start making overtures towards the conclusion. Your play had me on the edge of my seat.
That was the goal. It's like, is this guy going to survive? Is this guy not going to survive? We don't know. I love thrillers. Not so much horror, and granted, I am in a lot of horror movies, but I love thrillers from Hitchcock to, I'm sorry?
More like suspense thrillers?
Suspense thrillers from, I was going to say from Hitchcock to Jordan Peele with Get Out. Up to, that's like the most recent thriller I could think of because they don't make them anymore. But a guy like Jordan Peele is a big fan of the movies from the 70s and Hitchcock. And I mean, those are the better ones. Instead of, like everybody knows what, here comes the killer with a knife. I wonder what he's going to do. And like you said, like, yeah, you're sitting there and you go, that's the bad guy right there. I know he's the bad guy right there. And it's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, you know exactly what's going on. That's usually like the Hallmark Channel or the Lifetime movies. Not that I've ever seen any of those. But when you could set the plot up from minute one, yeah, we don't like that. So I'm always playing with them. Like, well, what if this person's a dinosaur as writing? Just to keep it fresh, new. Why not? Let's try something different. Why not? I mean, I'm writing something that it's taking me a long time to write right now because I don't want it to A, be lame, and B, I'm playing too much with the plot twisty stuff with it, and I'm missing the story. And that could be bad too, because if it's too fantastic and you're like, well, then you're gonna be the parking lot explainer. Like you're being in the parking lot after the movie theater and going, oh wait, was that the guy in the beginning? I thought they shot that guy. No, he was with everybody the whole time. He just had a mask on. When did he put a mask on? No, in the beginning, when he met the Russian spy. What Russian spy? Yeah, you don't want that. Because that's just bad confusion. There's good confusion and bad confusion. The good confusion is when you figure it out on your own. And you, oh, yeah, I remember that with the letter. And this, the bad confusion is like, wait, there was a spaceship in this movie? You got problems.
Yeah, like like this day and age, very few people over in the film world take risks. Like, well, you know what? Very few companies whether in film or theater, take risks like that. Ever so often, you'll see a film that'll take an ultimate risk like that. But that's why there's so many reboots and sequels going on these days.
Yeah, and
I have too many of them.
I just have this thing where it's just like I just don't want to watch a remake. Doesn't matter who's in it. I just don't want to see it. Like I grew up in the '80s. I have all this this pop culture cheese in my teeth. But and when I see them remake a movie of mine that I love, again, it's like watching a play you love with different actors. That might be good, might be better, but you know the story. You know what it is. Some are good. Some I will say that I do like. Very rare. Or I'll go, oh, they actually did something fresh with it. I can't think of an example. But I like people who are maybe inspired by something, but they try to do it originally, but with maybe a different twist.
You know what? I think that was the whole case with the first Creed. Have you seen
Oh,
Creed?
Creed, yes.
Creed was great because Ryan Coogler was very inspired by the Rocky story, Sylvester Stallone's story, and Rocky, the first Rocky, and the whole series and stuff. Till he wanted to go ahead, he wanted to put a black spin on it, and he did. Got Sylvester Stallone on board with it, and it turned out beautiful. Creed is
That's a brilliant idea because it's not another Rocky. It's not. I can't sing a dance. That's why we've seen that 7 times or whatever. Why don't we go to his nemesis? Well, after a while, he was the nemesis, and see how
the nemesis in the first 2 films, best friend in the 3rd and 4th film, and
don't lecture me about Rocky, pal. Don't you? No, nail stallion. Oh, I thought it said that, you're gonna ring the bell. During. I could do the whole thing. All 3 of them. So, yes. But no, you're right. That's a great idea. Take the kid from Creed, make the movie about him, and have him train him. That's amazing. I like that. To be honest, I haven't seen the second movie. I just found out there's a second movie.
Don't see it. It is like a sequel. The Creed bar is up here. Creed 2 is like, it was okay.
Yeah. I heard that they might make a 3rd one, but it's like, I think it's time. Stallone, no offense, man. You're awesome. We all love you. Just hang it up. We can't take it no more. Nobody can take it anymore. Especially you.
Well, there is going to be a Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan is going to direct it and star in it. Rather than not, Sylvester Stallone's going to be involved with it. That's still up in the air because he did say that after Creed 2, he's not playing Rocky Balboa anymore. But then he turns around and talks.
He said that during Rocky 5. Okay, so he mean his wheelchair.
Through when? When did he say it?
Rocky 5 after 19. I think it was like 1990. They made that. I'm not doing no more. What's
Rocky 5?
Wants to be a character actor at that point. That was 1990, I think. Rocky 5.
Carl, what's Rocky 5? You missed me. What's Rocky 5?
Rocky 5 was when he fought Tommy Gunn Morrison.
Because somewhere in a fictional world, there is a 5th installment of Rocky that exists where Rocky went broke and trained a young boxer, and then this Don King wannabe kind of like scooping from up under him. But
I think that might be Rocky 5. I think that is Rocky 5.
That installment of Rocky was so bad that like pretend like it didn't exist.
Yeah, it was so bad that Adrian's like, no, I'm not going to be in this one. No, and she's not doing it.
But the 6th Rocky Balboa, woo! Talk about a comeback. Woo!
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. But like the ending was, again, he would have got beaten though. A young kid in his prime against Rocky, who was
he lost the fight though. He lost the fight.
Wasn't there a version where he won? There might have been a cut.
There was. It was a deleted scene, but in
that was it. Okay.
In the final cut, he lost.
Okay, well then I apologize to Rocky 6. Okay, there should have been a Rocky 7000. That was a joke in a movie called Airplane 2. It was that the movie took place in the future, and they were like doing lunar space shuttles, and then in the background, like Sonny Bono's getting some film or something for his camera, and you see in the back just an old picture with a skeleton, and it says Rocky 400 or something, and it's just like a skeleton, which is, I can't believe it's almost happening. But who am I to criticize alone?
I'll just say that as far as Rocky goes, Ryan Coogler came and put a nice little refreshing spin on it with Creed. Yeah.
Oh, he did. No, he did. And they got the best guy, who Michael B. Jordan, I think. I mean, I just read Men's Fitness. He's on the cover of Men's Fitness this month, which is the March issue. Great article about how he's keeping fit and how he wants to take on a lot of roles, but he doesn't want to take a lot of roles from other black actors and black performers. And he's very generous in the writing process and the directing process, in the sense that where he wants to recruit people. He's very smart. and he was supposed to be Superman. I heard at one point.
That still may be a thing. See, what I like about Michael B. Jordan is he executive produced Just Mercy, and I think with Just Mercy, he was proving, I was Killmonger. I was Killmonger. I'm Adonis Creed, but don't think that I am like just an actor who could do action stuff. I could actually act. Which I think he already showed that with Fruitville Station when he played Oscar Grant.
Yeah.
Yes. With Fruitville Station.
I'm sorry, that was Ryan Kruger too.
That was actually Ryan Coogler's first feature film. Forrest Whitaker produced it.
Right.
Michael B. Jordan showed the world that. Well, first of all, when I first heard of it, I wasn't familiar with what happened with Oscar Grant yet. But then but I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on, there's an actor named Michael B. Jordan.
He's not playing basketball.
So what?
Yeah, he's not. No, not the guy from Space Jam. He's a different guy.
Yeah. So I'm going to check out Creed 3, and I feel like it's going to be better than Creed 2.
Well, we can always hope. Michael B. Jordan is in charge. There might be a chance that it might be good. I mean, Stallone is recutting Rocky 4. I can't wait. That will be an event. I cannot wait for that. I'm not being sarcastic.
Recutting Rocky 4. Okay. So you're more film cognizant than I am. What is recutting?
Okay, so the director's cut. So there were scenes that were on the cutting room floor. The studio wants it to be an hour and 40 minutes, but Stallone as the director maybe put out like a 2 hour and 20-minute version of it, which that's just funny to me because what would you put in that movie? But so he went back and you can actually see it on YouTube. He's in the studio cutting lines, doing ADR looping, putting more lines in it, and finding different takes and putting them back in. So I don't know. I mean, I love Rocky 4 because it's so goofy. It's almost a bad movie, but not because you're all like, yay, because the music's so cheesy. And I mean, James Brown's in it. He has that long scene with the Living in America song, and Carl Weathers with the I Want You thing, and he comes down on the thing. I mean, it's just total 1985 right there. Like, you want an example of what 1985 looked like? You look at Rocky 4, and it just, well, maybe not. Not everyone's driving a Lamborghini and fighting Russians. But anyway, I mean, it's just of that type of that 80s cheese that should fit the
Whenever you say something crazy, I'm going to take out a braid.
You can take out Creed? Well,
I said I'm going to take out a braid. My hair. Whenever you say something crazy, I'm taking out a braid. So
why is that crazy?
Because Rocky 4 is a rarity. I'm going to take them all out because this is just
yeah, no, it is. There's not many. Actually, no. Excuse me. Every movie, it feels like in the 80s, had a robot that would come and beat the butler. Happy birthday, Polly. Happy birthday, Polly. What's this? If it's worried about me, I just want to make sure you like your gift.
If you want to know how great 1985 was of a year, boom, pow. That's when I came on the scene, 1985.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, 1985. I was
first.
I was somewhere in grade school. I'm senile. I don't remember. 85. Yeah.
Okay, so
we had Space Camp with the robot. Yeah, Short Circuit with Johnny Five is Alive. That was all, I think, 1985. One of them might have been 86, but still right in that era. It's comfort food to me. Oh.
Okay, so let me tell you, people, while you're watching, I'm sorry you guys see this, but my hair is itching like a mug. I can't take it no more. Anyway, let me tell you why Rocky 4 is great. See, Rocky 4 is a rarity, right? With most sequels or franchises, by the time you get to the fourth, by the time you get to the third one, you're like, okay, it's about time to wrap this up already. Rocky 4, there wasn't really that much acting going on. Someone on YouTube broke it down beautifully. It was mostly montages.
Yes, the
Right?
1980s montage came out of basically that movie. No, Rocky 3 maybe had one, but Rocky 4 like made it funny because there was like 3 or 4 montages in that movie. While he was training, while he was driving, it's classic.
Well, yeah, but still, the music that went along with it, the gut.
There's no easy way out. Boom, boom. There's no shortcut home. Boom. Yeah, I had the tape.
The gut-wrenching reality of Apollo Creed, who has been with us from the beginning, dying.
Spoiler alert.
So what?
Spoiler alert. You're about to give away the Rocky 4.
Well, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen Rocky in the past 35
All right,
years.
say it. Fine, say it.
You've had 35 years to see Rocky 4. If you haven't seen Rocky 4 in the past, at any point in the 35 years, sucks for you. Apollo Creed dies. If it wasn't for Rocky 4, there wouldn't even be a need for Creed.
No. Are there any montages in montage? Yeah. Any montages in Creed? Do they show Carl Weathers at all?
Yeah, it's on.
Not like a picture or like just some footage of him, or
oh, they show a picture of him.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while, but I mean, Rocky 4 is like on every TV like channel. Just you're flipping through. If you're like a channel type, like, oh, here's Rocky 4, and just enjoy it. I mean, it's fun. As much as I'm goofing on it, I will take Rocky 4 over most of the stuff that's being put out now, to be totally honest. Like,
really?
When I was a kid, this is how I got into like literature and stuff. Believe it or not, I was a big comic book fan. Living.
Oh, yeah, you strike me as the comic book type.
I'm sorry?
You strike me as the comic book type.
Yeah, I mean, I had a comic book store a block away from where I lived, and I'm talking comics were like 20 cents, 25 cents back then, and $1, and it was affordable at that time. And the Infinity Gauntlet series was coming out when I was just starting, I think, high school or junior high. So I knew all about the Gauntlet and the Thanos, the whole Marvel universe that's out now. Deadpool was coming out, all that stuff. Ghost Rider, the Punisher, all that stuff from Marvel and DC, of course. And now it's like I love watching my childhood on the screen. However, there's just too much of it. I mean, Zack Snyder just released a 4-hour version of the Justice League. Didn't Justice League come out like 5 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the same one.
It is. He just added more stuff. So here we go again. Like, you need 4 hours to talk, to tell a superhero story? Like, really? You can't make it like 2 movies or a TV show at this point?
I mean, Avengers was 4 hours.
Actually, technically that was 6 hours, but like they were smart. They split it into like the comic. The comic actually kind of arced where they stopped with that one movie and then finished off with an Endgame. This one, I am not sitting through a 4-hour. Like, what am I going to say? I don't know. It just, for me, it's that's why I love the smaller movies now. Like, now I'm really just like, I rather watch something that was with a budget of like $1 million, which is not a big budget compared to something with like a $500 million budget. Like, if you can't get the story straight in a $500 million budget, there's a problem. And the guy with the budget of your catering for like a day can get it better, there's something wrong. It all goes to the script. If the script doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't. Did we freeze? I think we froze. Oh, live TV. Anyway, well, pontificate. A script is only as good as the writer. The writer has to have the discipline to make a good script. That means physically, they have to read a lot of books. You have to be educated to write something good. You have to take literature from the Bible, for example, to Beowulf, to all sorts of literature. You have to encompass all of that to actually make a good story. You have to be learned. Comic books, the same thing. If you know the story of the Infinity Gauntlet or Superman's origin story, which actually comes from the Bible, then you can utilize that and make a good script. That doesn't mean copy it. That doesn't mean take quotes from it. I mean, it's because we all follow stereotypes. All writing is rewriting. You always write your first draft, whatever it is, from everything that you're learned, everything that you have learned. The second draft is where you sharpen your skills. The third draft is where you get brutal with yourself and you yell at yourself for doing all sorts of mistakes. By the 18th draft, you should be good or maybe not. That's my whole thing about writing process. It's all coming from practice. Somebody asked Michelangelo once, why, like, what do you see when you sculpt something? How do you make these sculptures out of stone that's just plain and blank? And he said, listen, I just carve until I see it. That means you have to practice every day with your craft, writing, reading other people, reading good literature, reading bad literature. So you go, oh my goodness, that is excellent, or oh my goodness, that is bad. So then you can form your own opinions. And read criticism, not criticism on social media. So keep social media out of it. Social media is a promoting platform. Read actual criticisms from people who are journalists, movie critics, literature critics, art critics, because they will not be a one-word thing or a one-sentence thing. They will spend 10 pages on it. And through that, you will learn what works and what doesn't work. You have to educate yourself. That's how I got good, by not pigeonholing myself in one form and not going, oh, I wrote this one draft. It is excellent. We're going to put it on stage. It doesn't work that way. And if it does, the audience, like I said before, will know it and walk out. And that's what I have to say about that.
Carl, you know this art. You know this art very well, very, very well.
And I went to school. I did. I have a degree in British literature and media arts, which is, I had a minor in media arts, which is at the time it was basically theater. We didn't really have a film program or a journalism program. But you have to sit there and go, I'm going to read this. This is about Oscar Wilde and the decadence of the 1890s. This is like the punk rock, let's say, of literature back in England. It had Oscar Wilde, Algernon Swinburne. These are the guys who would talk about sex. They would talk about religion in different ways. They would talk about politics in different ways. And they were the shock jocks, as you will, back then. And you have to read something like that and then pick up a book about pottery or a cookbook. The more you read, the more full of a person you'll be, more full of it you'll be, the more fulfilled you would be in being able to recognize something as art. There's a lot of culture out there. There's a lot of I don't want to get political, but there's a lot of, hey, wait a minute. That's not right because of X. Well, wait, hold on. Have we looked at all the interpretations of X before we judge it or criticize it? And you're going to say 99%. That's not what the case on, like I said, social media. You have to. I said you have to be educated in the subject before you can really talk about it. Like this, I can actually talk about it. I've written film. I've written plays. I've acted in films. I've acted in plays. I've directed. I could say I have experience. I wish I might not have more experience than you, let's say, or Steven Spielberg, and I don't put myself up in the same ranks as a Steven Spielberg. But
Why not?
I could. I can't get the mechanical shark to work. Actually, neither could he at the time. But as long as I sit there and I could learn from Steven Spielberg, or learn from you, or learn from this person, then I could say that I am an active learning novice. But I know when someone's full of it. Let's put it that way.
Steven Spielberg didn't write the envelope.
That's and I'm sure he wouldn't have. But he didn't write Jaws 2 either, which I do respect him for. The only sequel I think he's done is one of the Jurassic Parks. I want to say The Lost World or something, and he regretted it. He didn't write that though, but he doesn't do many sequels at all. Which I don't know. I'm working on a sequel right now. I'm not going to tell you with what, but it is so hard to write a good sequel because you just don't know. You fall back into all the traps and go, well, this is the original. And how many sequels? Let me just say that. How many sequels are like, well, this is exactly like the first movie. Like, I could critique. I'm not going to give it away, but the new Coming to America film I felt was just that. It was just a sequel, and it made me want to see the original twice over. And no offense, because I loved everybody in that film. I mean, it was so exciting to see Eddie Murphy again in Arsenio Hall. But for me, my thing was I laughed. It was funny, but I mean, again, it was kind of the same old jokes that we saw in the first movie. My opinion.
So I'm going to give it away. If you're watching this and you didn't see Coming to America, the new Coming to America, that's your fault. Okay, it's been out for almost a month.
It should be called ADQ spoiler alert. That's what this show should be called.
ADQ spoiler alert. That's you know what? The name of this episode is Cinematic Chatter, but I just might change it to ADQ spoiler alert.
There you
Spoiler
go.
alert. Coming to America.
It's a classic.
It wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, and why didn't they just do Coming to America too? Why do you have to put? Because everyone's like, "No, I love Coming to America." What do you mean Coming to America sucks? No, Coming #2 America.
Let's call it the new Coming to America.
The new one, Part 2.
It's not good. It's not good.
It isn't, and it's a shame because, I'm like, I was excited. I'm like, oh, what are they going to do? And it felt like they got their same writers from the first one. Maybe that was the problem. They got the same writers.
No, they don't have the same writers. Craig Brewer wrote it.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, okay. All right. They tried to get that.
And here's the thing. And here's my thing with that. Okay. Here's my thing with that. Okay. So, some stories. I didn't leave my hair alone. Some stories you can go colorblind with who you have write it. Yet some stories need somebody from the group that is being highly represented writing and directing that story. Case in point. Carl, you're Italian, right?
Yes. How'd you guess? Marron. Sorry. I had the mozzarella right here.
Me writing an Italian story would be a bad idea across the board. I'm not Italian. I don't know nothing. I know very little about the Italian culture or the Italian experience. That would be just as bad as you trying to write a story about a black family, whatever. You don't know the black culture that well. You don't know the black experience.
Well,
right?
Side note, again, if you are educated in that subject, I mean, race, that is a weird subject. I mean, you could always give it a chance, give it a shot, and maybe collaborate with somebody.
Personally, I think you should have been able to experience it firsthand.
True. Yeah, but again, like you're right. Like I would never write a story about Black culture or German culture or what. I mean, I would because I'm not that. I'm not going to say, well, let me tell you about Black people and what I wrote about them. Nobody wants to hear that.
Now, at the same time, Steven Spielberg did direct Color Purple, and Color Purple is my most favorite movie.
And he didn't get nominated, I think, because, or did the film didn't get nominated because of that reason? Like it was something of that sort, but he didn't write it. He directed it. So, but that was a fantastic movie. Alex Walker wrote the book and the screenplay as well.
No, she didn't write the screenplay. I forgot who wrote the screenplay, but she wrote the root story.
Well, it's a classic. I mean, they teach that in high school.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my point. Ryan Coogler, we're gonna bring him back into the equation. Yeah. Ryan Coogler presented Eddie Murphy with an idea for the Coming to America sequel that involved Michael B. Jordan. Eddie Murphy turned him down.
Yeah,
I think that was stupid.
The original premise. Did you hear the original premise? They were going to have Tracy Morgan as the son.
We seen what Ryan Coogler could do with an African story.
Yes.
I think that having Ryan Coogler write the new Coming to America would have made it completely, I won't say flawless, because every film has a flaw or two.
Yes.
But it would have made it epic.
All right, how about this? You and me fix Coming to America 2 right now. What would you do?
Oh God, where do I start? Let's see. For one thing, they wouldn't have just woke up and say, "Hey, it is our anniversary." No. Number one, it would have been a more. Number two, he would have had to engage in a more extensive search for his son. He just came there, looked at that person, looked at a kid, and said, "You're my son. Yes, you're my son." James Earl Jones would have died a lot later in the movie.
Right. I'm glad they brought him back, though. I like that they brought him back.
Morgan Freeman would have narrated more parts of the movie. I would be like, "Yo, I know you're just here for this scene, but come on, you're Morgan Freeman. Come on, please."
Yeah.
If the new Coming to America would have dropped when I was like in my 20s, I would have loved it. I would have thought it was like the second coming.
Yeah.
Technically, it is the second coming of that. But now when I look at now that I've written things and directed things and seen things and seeing how things go together in a completely different way, I kind of like a different type of funny. I don't like so I could take little small increments of the whole, hey, I'm slapping someone and it's funny. Hey, I'm being loud and it's funny. Sometimes I'm getting to a point where I like to find the joke, the type of comedy that Dave Chappelle presents.
Right.
What's another thing I would have changed? I wouldn't even had Jermaine Fowler play the son. Nah, I would have found someone else. I would have had Michael B. Jordan or shoot.
Now here I'll quickly change it. Here you go. Why does he have to go to New York to find the kid? Why can't the kid just like somehow show up and be like, I found a DNA test or something, and Leslie Jones is right there. An episode of
Maury.
I'm sorry?
That sounds like an episode of Maury.
Yeah, well, Leslie Jones comes with him, and then like they could do the flashback where she was in the bar with them and that kind of thing. Like you're right. Like why? Like he walks up to somebody, you're my kid. Like why are you in New York? It doesn't make any sense. At that and I loved Wesley Snipes. I think he's funny in that part. But why don't we put Eric LaSalle as the bad guy? Like he comes back as the Soul Glow guy. Eric LaSalle was hilarious in the original. I mean,
he was. He did.
It crazed all like he could play that dick character. Eric LaSalle was
He
fantastic
was.
actor.
He was great in the first one, but I think he said in a couple interviews that he would not come back for a sequel.
Really. And Sam Jackson could have been the robber again. Bring him back. These guys back 30 years later, robbing something else. Wait, I know you.
That would be great.
Yeah, like I mean, the funniest thing of the whole movie is that the fact that the guys in the barbershop are still alive after 40 years or whatever. That's great. Yeah. This is beautiful. What is that, velvet? You know,
that was suspension of disbelief. That was suspension of disbelief because you know, in actual life, real life, all of them would have been dead.
Try the soup. Try the soup. Where's the spoon? Aha! You know, I've seen it a few times.
If the man wants to call himself Muhammad Ali, that call it. This is America. The man will call himself Muhammad Ali.
You know, what about when he fought Rocky Marciano? He kicked Joe Louis.
Every time I talk about boxing, a white man got covered and pulled Rocky Marciano out of his ass. He was good, but he wasn't as good. His cash is great.
They should call this place the Three Putzes. We just read the entire thing. Let's do a stage show of this.
Who's going to be quoting lines from a newcomer to America like that? What line from a newcomer to America can quote like that? None.
I even said like in the beginning of the first movie, you know, the elephant runs by and it's, oh, hi Babar, and they bought, oh, here's a big elephant. This is my Babar, you know, Babar all grown up. Who cares?
Well, for one thing, the joke was he said Babar. The cartoon Babar was big at that time.
Yeah, no one knows what that means, and he had to show a flashback to you know, fast forward to the audience of today to be, oh, that was the elephant from there, and Babar was the. It's too complicated. Who cares? You know, again, it's a waste of time at that point.
Who inspires you in regards to directing and writing?
I have many influences. I mean,
top 5. Who did you think about when you were writing?
Right now, rattle off like, you know, like Agatha Christie, for example. You know, an old British lady writing, you know, mystery thrillers. There's Jay McInerney, Oscar Wilde, August Wilson, like one of the greatest playwrights ever. And
that's my man.
You know, you go right back to Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare did not do it for the art; he did it for the money. It was like, you know, some guy on a, hey Billy, yes, how you doing? Yeah, no down, yeah, on the round. Yeah, what we need is this show about 2 chicks. They're on a boat. Yeah, just name it whatever. Just put a T in it. Yeah, that he needed to pay his rent. So that's why he wrote most of that stuff. And
I thought Shakespeare did because he was sexually frustrated or high.
A little bit of both, but more or less high or drunk. He was a normal dude, and he wasn't for the romanticism. Like, you know, another guy you dig up, you know, and do the Frankenstein thing with him. Hey man, you're the biggest playwright of all time. Be like, that's great. You got any blow? You know, actually, you got any blow? He's Keith Richards all of a sudden. It was rotten in the round. You know, but look what he created. Every actor, well, what they're sold, has done something with Shakespeare. Something, if not in an acting class, to, you know, being on stage, to being in a film, to being, you know, whatever, audiobook, has something to do with Shakespeare. Even writers go back to Shakespeare. Everyone quotes or something's based on something Shakespeare wrote. And Shakespeare sometimes took from history. Julius Caesar, Hamlet, I believe, was based on somebody. It's just take it from the classics. Like I said, keep reading. And that's how you hone your style.
I've danced with the Bard several times. First couple times were not so good, but the last couple times were just all right. You're tuning in to ADQ's Renaissance. I am ADQ. This young gentleman is Carl J. Grasso. We are just chopping up about theater and film and whatnot. He has very great taste. I have very great taste. And I want to ask you this, Carl.
Yes.
Hold up. Before I ask you anything, you haven't even answered my question. You gave me your top 3. Oh, well, you gave me your top 4. Who's number 5?
What did I say? Agatha Christie, Jay McInerney, August Wilson, Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, because the guy was out of his mind. I like when people are out of their minds. I mean, Edgar Allan Poe, for example, was out of his mind, but he was drunk all the time and psychotic, and he was a pedophile. Not a fan. Not a fan. And I'm like a literature, dude, but H.P. Lovecraft, the guy, again, another guy who was drunk and high and crazy racist and crazy pedophile. Like the guy was another guy. But that doesn't mean maybe he created something that was good. It's true.
Did Oscar Wilde write The Importance of Being Earnest?
Oh, yes. The Importance of Being Earnest, Salome, Portrait of Dorian Gray. In fact, yeah, I was reading quotes from him here. If the poor only had profiles, there would be no difficulty in solving the problem of poverty. Okay, there, buddy. Coming from a rich guy. So I'm influenced by tons of stuff. Like okay, so I just read all that, but for giggles, I read. He's a big influence. In fact, I should actually mention him. This guy is the guy who wrote The Twilight Zone, and he is one of the most inspirational television writers of all time. He's written plays from Playhouse 90 called Requiem for Patterns and Requiem for a Heavyweight. That they won, I guess, awards back then. And every Twilight Zone episode he touched, like you could tell it's him. He was a solid, heavy, good writer. And the guy knew how to conduct a story in 22 minutes or 25 minutes. And some people can't do that. Like, I'm not an act person. Like, Anton Chekhov is an excellent short playwright and a short story writer. The guy's amazing. And I know that I'm not that because as I write, like to do the length. I get a character and I go, well, where could this go? What could this guy do? And I fall in love with that person and I try to explore it. And it's hard for me to do something in 15 pages. But you got Anton Chekhov or you got Rod Serling who had to do it in 25 minutes.
Not necessarily friendship, but they knew the pastor, they knew his wife. And so when the opportunity came up, I talked.
Oh, forgive me for that.
Oh, no, I was like, that must be the voice in my head. Rod Serling, again, like the guy from the Twilight Zone. The guy was very concise, and he had to be for his show in 25 minutes. And the guy was brilliant, except he smoked cigarettes like every second, and he died of a quadruple heart attack when he was 54, I think. They opened up his leg, and the artery, for the 4th time, crumbled in the doctor's hand. So talk about a Twilight Zone twist. Guy you're not seeing his death, basically. I was saying, we were asking about what influences me, and I was saying Rod Serling. I like to read about movies that suck, like really terrible ones that suck. I actually have an Ed Wood poster on my wall, and like in the middle of all that, like you'll catch, like I said, like 80s cheese or something. Like I was watching this last night. Okay. Oops, sorry. Just for giggles.
Oh, okay.
I could write a book on this wrestling event.
Giggles.
Oh, I could. Oh, you're not into wrestling?
So what?
Are you into? Have you watched wrestling? I haven't watched it recently, but my favorite. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My favorite match on that is Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage.
Well, that's a classic one. The rest of them are like ridiculously politically incorrect stuff. It's great. It is. You got to watch it again. In fact, you and I should collaborate. We should write either a book or a play about that. It's amazing. There is a match that I was rolling with because as a little boy, the main match in WrestleMania 3 was Hulk Hogan, the good guy, and Andre the Giant, who was a good guy but turned, they call it a heel. and it was so upsetting. Oh no, that my two favorites are going to fight each other at WrestleMania 3, and like ADQ just said, the better match of that whole event was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Because of the acrobatics of it was fantastic. But if you watch the show, there are like there are little person matches with King Kong Bundy and Huckleberry Jim, and it is very inappropriate. And I like to laugh at inappropriate things, but I just mouth
You think
dropping.
that's something? You think that's something? The guy, who was the guy who came to the ring with Ricky Steamboat? I forgot his name. George the Animal Steel, right?
Yeah, Animal Steel. Yes.
He was portrayed as someone who's mentally challenged.
George the Animal Steel is a professor from like I don't know the university, but I want to say he's like an engineering professor or something. He really wanted. He did it for like the money, but the guy's brilliant. That he portrayed like you're right, like a maniac, like a mentally handicapped person. I mean,
And wasn't Adrian Adonis portrayed as like a metrosexual or something?
Adrian Adonis is a fat fuck. So. He's an athlete supposedly. He's like 400 pounds, and like he's got bigger breasts than my wife. I mean, my wife has big boobs. I mean, she can't eat soup without a bra or she'll burn her nipples. And then this guy's running around, attacking Roddy Piper, another guy who I love. And he had his head shaved by Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Yeah, I'm a kid from the 80s. I'm sorry. Sue me.
I'm a kid from the 90s, born. I don't remember none of the 80s, but I'm from the 90s.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the 90s.
And speaking as a kid from the 90s, in the 90s, it became more and more apparent of the many boys. Segueing, I'm making a quick segue here. It became more and more apparent of the many young men, young kings who looked like me, who were put into the special ed system, not because of deficiencies in their intellectual level, but because of teachers who were unable or didn't even care to handle it. So many people who have young black boys, young kings in their lives, are wondering how to handle it without throwing them away to the system. There is a way to get a grip of that. This book, A Marginalized Voice, written by Reginald Williams, gives you a good account, a good idea of why I'm going to say we, because once upon a time I was a black boy, why we operate the way we do. Here's an excerpt from it. Here's a poem called "Cause I Ain't Got a Nickel" by Joshua T. Dickerson. I woke myself up because we ain't got an alarm clock. Dug in the dirty clothes basket, brushed my hair and teeth in the dark, cause the lights ain't on. Even my sister got my sister ready cause my mama wasn't home. Guys, both to school on time to eat us a good breakfast. Then I went to class. The teacher fussed cause I ain't got no pencil. People, this is the reality of a lot of us, and we all need to. And especially if you are in the educational system, you need this book. You don't need special ed. You don't need the EC department. You don't need a truant officer. You don't need a security guard at school. You don't even need to call teen parents. You need this. I highly suggest reading it. How to get it is in the description of this. Now, back to the interview.
You also need a copy of Rocky 4. I think you do. You also need everybody needs a copy of Rocky 4. VHS, if you can find it. The clamshell version of it. There was a VHS set of it years ago. And some of your viewers were like, what's VHS? Because there was only 5 movies at the time, Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you put them all together, you would see like The Ring with Stallone and everything. Same thing with Star Trek. There was only like 1 through 6 or something. I think until 1991. And you see the Enterprise. VHS was cool. Would I use it now? No. I don't even want to use a DVD or Blu-ray. I'm like, I gotta press a button with this thing. I didn't use this thing.
There's only 6 rock. There's only 4. There's only 5 Rocky movies. Rocky 1. There's
There's 6
5.
Rockies. I looked this up, and
There's
the 2
5.
Creed.
Listen, there's the
What?
first one when Apollo Creed challenged him. There's the second one when Apollo Creed challenged him again, and he won the title. There's the third one when Mr. T challenged him, beat the holy piss out of him, and won the title. And then he came back, started fighting like Apollo Creed because Apollo Creed trained him and won. There's the fourth one when Apollo Creed got killed by the big tall Russian with the ugly wife. I'm wrong, but with the ugly wife. And then he went to Russia, trained to all that very, very, very inspirational music. Heart so
Fire, so desire.
Beat the snot out of the Russian, and then and won. And then there's Rocky 6, Rocky Balboa, when he's retired, widowed, depressed, owning a restaurant, and then Paulie talks him into doing another fight, and then he does that just to escape demons and stuff because a lot of stuff have happened between, Rocky 4, the Rocky that doesn't exist, and Rocky Balboa.
The Rockies to watch, and I minus the Creeds because those are different movies. I feel because it's got a different main character.
They're part of the Rocky DNA and stuff. But yeah, it is its own franchise.
No, yeah, I'm not just cutting them at all. But like, okay, so you want like classic Rocky and the more newer Rockies, Creed. You can watch Creed and not really watch Rocky. You get it. It's fine. Which that's a good.
No, you have to watch Rocky to know where it's all coming from.
Well,
why is this black kid looking at this old white dude saying, "Hey, my dad. Hey, you beat my dad in the ring."
Okay, right. Remember when you beat up my dad? So you're right. Rocky 1, of course, because
yeah,
it's the 70s, so that blows everyone's mind. Oh, wait a minute! What? Oh my God! Because there's some political incorrect stuff in there, and you know what? Just watch Rocky. Just shut up. Rocky 2, forget it. Even though it's got Creed in it, it's boring. It's the same thing. It's annoying. Rocky 3 is the movie you want to jump to 1 and 3. Just jump to those 2, and then you do 4. Because 3 you can't miss because Mr. T has some of the greatest lines ever. Hey, what's your prediction? Pain. He's just sitting there. He plays Clubber Lane. Don't do that. Don't do that. Prediction pain.
One weird part that was
Sorry.
One weird part that was hard to watch. One weird part that was hard to watch was, Rocky and Apollo running on the beach of Los Angeles and them jumping and hugging on each other and all that. I'm like, what in the world?
Oh, you didn't rewind that back and forth and keep watching it? And fast forward.
What'd you say?
Hey, you didn't rewind that over and over again and watch it over and over again, like I did. Yeah, and they're jumping and like hugging each other and.
I'll pass.
See, that's what I would cut out of Rocky 3 and 4. That's the scene I'd cut out. I was like, what is that? That's weird. That
kind of like, yo, Rocky, ain't you supposed to be, getting all hardcore tough, learning how to fight like a black fighter, so you could beat up Mr. T? What in the world? You jumping in the water and hugging on Apollo Creed? What in the world?
Why are your shorts shorter than his? Like, why are you high fiving each other? What is that? You can't not laugh at that. You just go. No one said, wait, guys, wait a minute, wait. You can't put that in a montage. It looks like you guys are gonna start kissing each other. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I just didn't see those two characters in love with each other. I just don't. I mean, the ending, I said it before. It's like you're gonna ring the bell, dang, and then the song from Survivor that I hear every day. I have a tiger. Yeah, everybody.
Man, I hate that Mr. 80s.
How of your arrival? You don't even know the words. It's like the Bee Gees.
Rising up to the challenge.
Yeah. No. I'm not rising to anyone's challenge. Stop it. Bad. Go back to the 80s. But that's
I don't even
fine.
remember the 80s. I was born in 85. I was
Well,
asleep and getting my butt wiped through the 80s. At least the time I was alive.
well, Coming to America was like what, 1989 or 88?
88. It was, I think, yeah, it was 88.
88. So yeah, I mean, no, there's classic stuff that came out of the 80s that are probably being remade or made sequels.
Color Purple, man. If they remake Color Purple, I will go to Hollywood and I will raise hell.
I don't think they would. They haven't remade Spielberg's movies, have they? I can't think of one. There probably is one. Have they remade any of his? When he's dead, they'll probably do it. You know, like they'll remake Jaws, and Jaws will be all CGI'd, and nobody would care. E.T. They'll probably CGI him.
They'll probably have the shark doing a bunch of Matrix type stuff.
The Color Purple, they'll CGI, you know, whoever, Danny Glover, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Danny Glover as he's slapping with Whoopi Goldberg.
That wasn't that his? No, that wasn't his first movie. His first movie, I think, was Danny Glover.
Look, I'm gonna say this.
I was the original IMDb. I would know this. You know,
listen.
His first movie, I think, was Witness. Harrison Ford was Witness. I think that was him.
Listen, I don't condone domestic violence, and I definitely don't condone men hitting women. I'm not down with that at all.
Well, that's a good tip. Yeah, beating up people's not a good thing. But
when
we're not talking about beating up anybody, just so anybody, you know, don't be canceling nobody. Okay, we're just talking about a scene in the show.
Over on the view, you know, you want to go upside the head a couple times. I don't watch The View, but I've seen snippets of it where people who I like and follow are on there. I'm like, oh my God. Who died and made Whoopi Goldberg a political expert?
I listen to Whoopi Goldberg anytime. I told you the story. I was watching on Broadway Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and she was playing Ma Rainey, and there's a scene where she's coming in and she's like yelling, "Give me a Pepsi, give me this, I need this," and someone's cell phone was ringing at the same time. It's like, turn off that damn phone, and the whole audience is like, yeah. So that woman is awesome, and she can another one who could light up a room, and you listen to her and you pay attention to her. So I would like to work with Whoopi Goldberg and Mr. T. I don't know what we would do, but I think if I met Mr. T, though, I would be like really enamored of him because growing up, there was actually a Mr. T cartoon. It was ridiculous. It was like Scooby-Doo. Like there was solving mysteries with Mr. T and a bunch of acrobats. You can only get away with stuff like that in the 80s. I'm Mr. T, and here's my acrobats, here's my cereal.
You know what Mr. T would say to you? He'd be like, "What's up, fool?
I don't even know jibber jabber from you, but fool. We need this here chopper. Where's Murdoch?" Yeah, so he was like somebody who I grew up with. Everything. Like, oh my God, it's the A-Team. The most ridiculous show ever. But like you waited for Mr. T to like punch someone through a wall for no reason. It was the greatest, you know. I'll say, listen, you better get on the chopper. No more jibber jabber.
I remember watching Eddie Murphy Delirious. He did the greatest impression of Mr. T. He said, "I heard you want to beat me up. I heard you want to talk about me." No, you didn't. Maybe you didn't.
He's like, I can't repeat his original rap, but I know that verbatim from Delirious. But you know, Eddie Murphy does a great Mr. T impression, and Mr. T is a very religious person and a very warm and charitable person. He gives a lot of money to charities. He does a lot of fundraising, and I would love to meet him. I mean, it just he's like a Mr. Rogers to me at one point. You know, he just seems like he just exudes positivity. Like weren't we saying like LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow? He's like one of those for me. LeVar Burton, I would love to meet too. LeVar Burton.
Like when Mr. T got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, he gave like a 1 hour speech, quoting a lot from the Bible, which was great.
Yeah.
And and basically drive the point home to love your mothers. Be great to your mother.
Yes. Yeah, that's a
And
great
then
guy.
Kane came out and told him that it was time for them to go.
What do you mean I gotta go? Get off me, fool. With Murdoch.
No, he didn't say it to Kane. You know, Kane kind of like bigger. He's 7 foot, 320 pounds. So, you know, I ain't gonna miss a two, fool.
I love the fact that he wouldn't fly in the show because Mr. T, I don't think in real life flew on a plane. So they always had to dope the guy. So Mr. T be drinking milk and they would pass out because they drugged them every time. Like when just get him a cab. Like why do you have to do that to him every time in the show? Again, the 80s, stuff you get away with. Now it just because everyone's so sophisticated. Well, let me tell you something. NCIS, CSI, Law and Order, FBI, all these shows you lads watch because they're so cool, they suck. Because did the guy do it at the end of the show or did he not? Just tell me. Did the guy do it or did he not? They're all the same. There's nothing you're missing. You could just throw a dart and basically get the same result each time. My shows,
these are shows that have been going for well over a decade. You're going to say they suck?
Because it's the same formula. When was the last time they drugged William Peterson and Marg Helgeberger and put him on a plane? Or Murdoch would dress up when like a clown and then fly his helicopter into a building, or they build a tank out of a golf cart. Huh? I don't see that on Law and Order. I want my shows, every single one, to build a submarine out of a Ford Vega. That's what I want. Why not? Why can't we do that? No, I got to sit here for an hour and be like, I knew it was that guy. I knew it was that guy. Why do I got to sit here for? That's why I barely.
Dick Wolf can afford that. You think Dick Wolf can afford that?
Well, that's how the guy, Dick Wolf and oh god, the guy just died. Stephen Cannell. They bought, how many houses they bought because of. I think actually Stephen Cannell and Dick Wolf did do with the A-Team, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check that out. But
if you're dead, you really can't afford anything.
No, that too. That is a good point. But all back to my point. Have to be good writers to do anything. Oh boy.
You're tuning into ADQ's Renaissance. I am ADQ. I have just taken my braids loose and I feel great. This psychopath here is Carl J. Grasso.
Hi, how are you? I'll kill you if you do anything bad to ADQ. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Hey, now I got a bodyguard. Hey, yo, I need you to tell me this.
Yeah.
So first of all, I did not bring up Rocky because there's that Italian connection now, which you know me better than that. But I saw your reel and I saw some roles that kind of like fit with an Italian stereotype. Have people asked you to play Italian stereotypes?
Yes.
Man, that is just wrong, man. That's like telling me, okay, Adrian, you're black. So what I need you to do is pull your pants down a little bit, wear a shirt that's like 3 sizes too big for you, and walk around bopping like, yo, yo, yo. Okay, Adrian, what rap songs do you know? Do you know any rap songs? Because I need you to make sure to say that. And just again in character, make sure to smell like weed, okay? You got the dreadlocks, Adrian. See, I call these locks, I don't call them dreads. But someone will say, you got the dreadlocks, so you're halfway there. Can you do that for me, Adrian? And I'll be like, you know what? I'm sorry that your mama calls you a son.
And I'm from New York, so when I first got here, it's like, wait, how do you say that word? Okay, what do you want me to do? And yeah, I'll do a Staten Island accent, I'll do a Brooklyn accent, which are different, Manhattanite. Mine's Long Island, and it's very difficult for me. I have to sit and think when I'm not being that person and to be neutral. Like in my newest film that I did, The Envelope, I was very neutral with my accent, and I try not to slip. Except one time I slipped because I was fighting off a cold, so I had to fight through something that sounded kind of Brooklyn because my nose was up here. So it's like, listen, I know she didn't die of natural causes. It was really hard for me to do that. It was annoying, but Yeah, I get like the New York guy. Oh, you're the mobster. Oh, I am. Yeah, you're the the character I played in the reel that you showed. The guy's name was Corleone. And I'm like, okay, you mean reference to The Godfather? Like nobody would know this, but I played that character as a spoiled brat. So it's called the film's called Checkmate, and the guy was like he's like a rich kid, and he's selling drugs or something, and somebody steals something from him. So I took it as a baby, like a toddler just having a fit, and I didn't do like the Italian mobster in the scene. I did it of the I want my money and I want it now type of guy, and I just flipped out on the other actors in the scene. Well, in the scene, obviously, and took it from that point. I'll take your stereotype, but I will raise it to another level and do something that you're not gonna expect, because everyone's seen the guy with the really bad Italian accent who's going to be in a Italian restaurant eating Italian food with food in his mouth going, "Hey, Paulie, where were you last night? You know, I needed you to do that thing." Okay, great. You want me to say that? You're going to pay me a lot of money to say that. It's boring, you know? But yeah, I mean, listen, even up in New York, it was the same thing. It's like, and I was heavier. I was 230 pounds. Now, actually, I just came back from my weight loss thing, and I'm 164. I lost 4 pounds. I go up and down, and I feel better, and I'm getting better parts now. I don't know if that's a stereotype of me having all that weight, but my dream role, as for me, would be like the love interest or the romantic comedy interest, or somebody who is not the fat gangster who's going to burp with a bunch of calamari coming out of his mouth. Call me crazy. ADQ.
Well, for one thing, congratulations. I am trying to, come down in weight myself. So congratulations. I haven't been 165 since I was in middle school. You lucky son of a gun, you. And I like that idea. I see your stereotype. I'm gonna raise it. What if I went ahead and did the whole, dress like a broke rapper, but then presented a dialect and vernacular that usurps the intellectual level of that of a Harvard professor, and just completely modify the game right there.
What if you, a guy with a tuxedo, walking around with a Jamaican accent or something? Like, it's just something totally different. Like, give me a challenge, or I will think of something.
I'm sure Bob Marley is.
Yeah, you have a script that says "man." All right, well, what does the guy do? All right. So, and you read the dialect, and then if you're a good director, an actor might be like, "Is there any way we could play with this a little bit?" I mean, the best thing you could do for an actor is have them play. But I know with writers and time constraints and stuff, we can't have every actor improving and everything. But just hear them out and let them try something. You don't have to use it in the editing room. But sometimes the greatest things are like goofs or just them screwing around. Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs did the fava beans thing. He did that, said, "I just never but some and fava beans." And he did that thing. And everyone cracked up, but they left it in the movie because they thought it was so creepy. And just let the actors play a little bit. Actors, if they're good, they'll give you tons of options to use. If they're bad, then you don't use them. But oh well.
If they're good, they'll give you options. If they're bad, there's no options to use. That simple.
The options, they're the door. But so I love doing the following. And it's worked and it hasn't worked. But I can take somebody who's not an actor and try to make them one. And I've done this before and it's worked. It's the circumstances of how to do it. But I always like to challenge myself. But I think I could do it with almost anybody. It feels. I just have to put it out there. Is all. But I'm not looking for anybody who's like, I can act. I acted in my grade school. You know, I was the tree. You know, no. You got to audition for me first, and then we'll discuss. You know, I won't be rude to anybody who auditions for me. But I mean, I can't. Also, yeah, here's the other thing with directors: we can't use everybody, and it sucks. Like we can't all be casting 12 Angry Men when there's two person cast, and both of them are men. You know, although we can always try to gender flip or do something else. That's the thing you have to get as an actor. You have to get a thick shell, and you have to learn that you're going to have situations where people are going to say yes, a casting director, and you're going to have a lot of no's. No, sorry, we can't use you. Use the experience. That doesn't mean it's personal. It's not personal. I've tried out for many things I didn't get, and I've worked for them. Like, I'm like, well, let me change it like this. I've even wrote the casting directors anyway. I get a call back for this because I actually liked the script. And people said no, and I'm not going to be like, oh, they're jerks. No, it happens in acting and writing. I mean, this is the one place I could think of where the rejection rate is probably in the 90th percentile. And you have to get used to it. It's not, again, it's not a personal thing. And I've had people ask the same thing. Ask me, oh, okay, well, can I try out for you again? No, I cast it. So just know that people are going to say no. I mean, it's not you. I mean, you might not have blue eyes. You might not be a certain height. You never know. So thick skin and learn your craft and stuff. And surprise everybody. Make them remember you so they want to bring you back. Like, yeah, that guy, Carl, he's insane. Yeah, let's get him back in here. That's usually the way I get back in. But anyway.
Learning craft, have thick skin, because you're going to hear, because one line that you will always hear, well, not all the time, but a lot of times in this particular business, this particular field of work is no.
And last thing also, if it is like your group theater or your local theater or your community theater, do not treat it as so. Do not treat it as 12 people will be in the audience, so who cares? If I'm going to be, in Arthur Miller's The Crucible or something. No, treat it like you're on the West End in London or Broadway or something. And what I mean by that is put your best performance forward. And then maybe, just maybe, someone, more than a few people might be like, you're pretty good. Maybe you should join backstage or something, or go online and maybe try this professionally. Because that's what happened to me. I always acted, but I took a hiatus because, like I said before, I had to work and pay for where I was living. And I did a really small short film, and it was a comedy horror thing. And I had people come up to me, you were pretty good in it. I'm like, no, I wasn't. And a few more people came up and gave me that little hint, and I started doing more stuff. And people kept saying, hey, yeah, you were really good in that thing. And I joined backstage, and I joined some other platforms, and it took off from there. And when I got to North Carolina, everyone wanted to work with me. I was there. I was here maybe a month, and I was shooting a film out in Raleigh. And I remember waiting for my cue to enter the scene and going, where am I? You're in North Carolina shooting a movie, Carl. All right, get back into character. Action. And I never would think that I would be where I am now. And okay, I'm not with Spielberg right now, or I'm not with whoever. I don't need that. I'm in a place where people are projecting projects onto me. I'm making projects with people. And I can't believe that this is working out, that I have the experience to go, I know how to do that. I know how to do this. And you work with the right people, and things happen. And the more you do it, the more you network, the better you come. And then the more you could, definitely tell someone's full of crap. And that's happened too, where they think, hey, you just told the producer that You're not their friend, so I'm not going to produce you in this thing. Yeah, okay. You're not a producer. You're a guy who makes music in their apartment, not your studio album, pal. Your studio apartment album. Don't ever call me again. Don't ever talk to me again, because I am going to be making a film from a studio, a real one. And there's a lot of people like that who think they're a star because of whatever, social media, or because they have an iPhone in their pocket. You have to, again, craft that stuff from the iPhone, from your studio apartment, and get out and put it somewhere so people go, I want this guy to be in this movie. I want this guy to do this music score. Okay? You can't just say something without backing it up. I can back it up. I have IMDb credits. I have stage credits. I have this. I have podcasts. I have things. I have a scary castle behind me. Who's got a scary castle behind me? I mean, seriously. Yeah, work at it.
That is definitely a great lesson for us all. Work at it. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of rejection. And yes, even if, okay, I tell this story and we're going to start to wrap this thing up. But
yes, it's getting cold out here in the woods.
yeah, you look cold. But I remember 2 years ago. This is actually the same month when I did my play Time, right?
Yes.
I was in a production of this play called Ruined. One performance. We did that performance in front of one person. There was one person in the audience. Now, of course, we would like a full house, right? But my mindset was, hey, we're going to treat this like a great dress rehearsal, but we're going, and from an audience perspective, we're going to treat it like a good dress rehearsal, but from a performance perspective, they are going to get the greatest performance ever. We're going to pretend like we're performing for the king or something.
Right.
And so that's the mindset that I took into it.
Yeah. And that's,
whoever shows up deserves a great show.
Absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I would like to thank you for inviting me onto your show. And I would like to also commend you for I've seen ADQ's plays. They're on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
3 of them
that you put them on. And he is an amazing actor, director, writer, because the guy's in his own shows. And that is hard. I mean, I just did something where I was actually the lead in my own show, and I was directing it, and I wrote it. It's hard because you can lose one of those things. You can lose the directing accidentally by concentrating on only the acting. You can concentrate on the acting, and I mean, excuse me, you could keep the directing, but really suck at the acting. And when I was doing The Envelope, which I was in, which is also available on YouTube, it was like sometimes the 25th take for me to just say 2 lines because I was watching it. And I'm like, why can't I do this? Why can't I concentrate on that? Because I'm worried about everything else. And then finally, like on that 30th take, I got something. In fact, actually, the scene in the reel that you played, that was like, I think, take 30. And ironically, I didn't use it in the show because I had to cut it because I was also the editor too. So it's just, again, you have to discipline yourself and say no to yourself sometimes. And instead of making this about me, but yeah, I want to say that you are a very wonderful artist, and I wish you all the luck with everything you do. And hopefully there will be a collaboration between the 2 of us. But
we have to collaborate. We have yet to collaborate.
That is true.
So far, season screenings, and this is our only collaboration. Season screenings, we make no contact with each other. This is a podcast. It is not a show. So we have to work together, Carl.
We can do the Coming to America barber shop scenes on stage. I think we could do that. That'd be a hit.
That'll be the only part. So I'll tell you what. You can introduce a new Italian character. I'll be everybody else. That boy good.
I could do a good James Earl Jones impression. I mean, I could, you know.
Who?
I definitely, you know. Ah, I see you two are getting along. You have sex with I have sex with my bathers, don't you?
The royal,
You
the royal
don't know
Tarsus
to
Kingdom.
Who told you that? He did this whole movie. That's great. Well, thanks again. And check out the envelope on YouTube and buy that book. It's where is it here somewhere? You scroll there.
Well, I'll tell you this real quick. First, I will tell you this. I'm getting to the point. I handle the sound and the music and promotion of Aprende Español, and I acted in it. If my spirit, if God and my ancestors are not telling me to act in something that I write, I'm not.
Right.
But if I feel it like I gotta act in it, then I'm doing it. But if I don't feel it, I'm not.
Last note before we leave, I know we have like seconds, but you and I had a conversation earlier, not to break the fourth wall, but we had a conversation earlier about something. And you actually gave me some bit of advice that I am following. And it's sometimes you have to do something for yourself. If the studio isn't going to put you in a movie, or a director on a stage isn't going to put you in the play, that you could probably play that character. Maybe you could write something like that for yourself and your friends or people that you admire, and maybe do it yourself. But you need years of experience to do that.
And I will say that one person who clarified for me that we are in the do it yourself generation is your friend and mine, Dan Beckman.
Yes. Listen to that. Springtheater.com.
Right there.
Yeah.
They are definitely Dan Beckman, Aaron Durr, they are definitely the czars as far as this area goes of the theatrical do it yourself.
Brilliant. They're probably asleep right now, but brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Carl, before you go, if somebody wanted to collaborate with you, if somebody wanted to tell you how great the envelope is, if somebody wanted you to direct them the way you directed Chauncey Miller or
Great
anything, how can someone get in contact with you?
Meet me at the corner of 5th and 9th. Right. I'm the guy. No, all right. We won't do that. There are cell phones in this world. Facebook, Audio Files NC, AUDIOPHILES NC for North Carolina. Also, you could kind of search for me on Facebook under Carl J. Grasso. You can find me there as well. Don't contact me through that, but my Audio Files page is probably the best way to get in contact with me. To leave a comment for me to get a hold of you. I'm also on backstage.com. You could search me there under my name, and IMDb. I can't get messages off IMDb. I'm out there. I could definitely find you, or you could find me. But just I'm open to anyone for a conversation. I could have a conversation.
Same here. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me at ADQ'S@gmail.com. My Twitter handle is AvenueADQ_85. My Instagram handle is DionChocolateGuy85. And you're on Facebook, you're looking at me. You could my name on Facebook is AdrianQuarles, AdrianDionQuarles. Please don't call CIA on me. Also, if you would like to find the works that Carl has alluded to and see them in their fullness, you can find them on my YouTube channel. And please subscribe. I'm trying to monetize off of y'all. I got 82. I'm going for 1,000. So please subscribe. And also, if
subscribe to his page, subscribe right now. Stop it. I see you right there. Hit the button. You hit the button. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying.
And if you happen to feel like blessing the ADQ hustle, the ADQ hustle and stuff, my Cash App information is there. $ AdrianQuarles. You know, no pressure, just in case you feel like blessing us. Carl.
Yo.
It was great talking to you. I feel like we are in some way kindred spirits and stuff. I look forward to when we collaborate. Thank you very much for coming on ADQ's Renaissance. It was great talking to you, sir.
Next show, I will show you my 4th nipple. Thank you. Everybody subscribe.
Yes, sir. But thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
And my people, that has been ADQ's Renaissance. I am ADQ. I will see y'all on Tuesday when I will chop it up with an author by the name of Allie West. She was on ADQ's Renaissance last year. We were talking about her book, A Dressed Up Mess. We'll be talking about her new book, Still a Mess. And this will be different because it will be a morning show. That's right. Morning. Tuesday morning. 9-10 a.m. Either one of those. We get to see if ADQ's Renaissance can hang in the morning, and can y'all hang with me? I know a lot of you will be at work, but those of you who will not be at work, tune in with me. Let's talk about how one can go from a dressed up mess to still being a mess. I'm ADQ's Renaissance. God bless you all. I'm out. Peace.